Yes, you guessed it, it is time for some more World Cup qualifying. On today's episode, we will take a look at Amir Ghalenoei's roster and preview Iran's qualifier against North Korea. But first on our agenda, some Team Melli history. World Cup qualifying continues, and next up for Iran is a clash with North Korea in Laos. There isn't a lot of hype surrounding this match, especially because not a lot is known about the North Korean national team. But an interesting fun fact is that North Korea was actually Iran's first ever opponent in a World Cup qualifier. The match between Iran and North Korea ended in a dull, scoreless draw. But we got the opportunity to speak to someone who played in Iran's first ever World Cup qualifier, former Team Melli midfielder, Gholam Vafakhah. I am in the presence of greatness, the man who scored the first ever goal in a World Cup qualifier for Team Melli, the national team of Iran. I am here with Gholam Vafakhah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Glad you could be here. Gholam Vafakhah began playing football as a teenager. The first club he played for was a team called Nader, the reserve club of Darai FC. Vafakhah soon joined Darai and helped them become champions of Tehran. His next club would be Olgab Tehran. This was where he would become friends with Iranian football legends such as Akbar Eftekhari, Hamid Amini Khan, and Faribor Ismaili. Gholam Vafakhah made his first appearance for Team Melli at the 1968 Asian Cup, but he had an interesting story to share.
من زمانی که ما تیم آقا بودیم خب به هر حال برای تیم ملی هم انتخاب شد. زمانی که اولین بازی تیم ملی ما که همون ایشین کاپ بود که قهرمان شدیم که اسرائیل هم بود، من حدود 21 سالم بود که تونستم اولین بازی تیم ملی رو انجام بدم. بعد همینجوری موندیم تیم ملی، حدود 7-8 سالی من تیم ملی بودم. در طول این سالها عرض کردم تیم ملی به صورت الان نبود که مسابقات خیلی زیادی داشته باشن. در طول سال 2-3 بار مسابقاتی بود که انجام میشد. خب به هر حال منم در خدمت تیم ملی بودم، بازی میکردم. بله که من بازی کردم، بردیم. همون قرار بود که روز اسرائیل هم من بازی کنم که متاسفانه با عزیزی شوخی میکردیم، زد پنجه پام ورم کرد، نتونستم بازی کنم. ناراحت شدم از این بابت.
Next, I got to ask Mr. Vafakhah about what it meant to participate in 1974 World Cup qualifying.
خب ما اولین باری بود که به هر حال برای جام جهانی مقدماتی شروع کرده بودیم و من فکر میکنم که برای هر بازیکنی واقعا افتخاریه که بتونه تو جام جهانی شرکت بکنه. یعنی هر بازیکنی واقعا به خصوص خود ما حتی تو مسابقات داخلی برامون خیلی جالب بود، حالا چه برسه به مسابقات جام جهانی که واقعا بچه‌ها اکستاده شده بودن، خیلی خوشحال بودن از این داستان. و بازی‌های مقدماتی رو ما بچه‌ها خیلی خوب کار کردن که تونستیم به هر حال راه پیدا بکنیم به جام جهانی ها.
My next question was very simple. I wanted to know what he remembered most from the scoreless draw against North Korea back in 1973.
کره شمالی اون زمان تیم بدی نبود، تیم خوبی بود، ولی خب بچه‌های ما آماده بودن و اولین بازیمون هم فکر میکنم که در استادیوم آزادی انجام شد و تابستون بود، هوا خیلی گرم بود و اذیت میکرد ماها رو، ولی به هر حال تجربی بود، ما مساوی شدیم.
Gholam Vafakhah made 15 appearances for Team Melli and scored 4 goals. He has the accolade of scoring Iran's first ever goal in a World Cup qualifier against Kuwait. But how does he feel about this amazing honor?
ببینید قبل از هر چیزی من خدمت شما بگم وقتی یه نفر توی تیم فوتبال گل میزنه خب به هر حال ممکنه که احیانا خودش این کار کرده، ولی اینو باید به حساب تمام بچه‌ها گذاشت که بالاخره همه بچه‌ها زحمت کشیدن تا یه نفر تونسته این حرکت رو انجام بده. به هر حال هر کسی در هر مسابقه به خصوص ما قبل جام جهانی خب گل میزد، این 100% مشخصه که خب به هر حال خیلی باید خوشحال باشه. منم اون موقع خیلی خوشحال بودم، ولی خودم مدیون تمام رفقام بودم که تو اون تیم بازی می‌کردیم.
My last question for Gholam Vafakhah, I wanted to know his favorite memory as a member of Team Melli.
بهترین خاطره تیم ملی من اولین بازی بود که تیم ملی انجام شد در همون 1948 بود که 68 که برای قهرمانی جام آسیایی بود که تونستیم اونجا قهرمان بشیم، چون اولین بازی تیم ملی بود. واقعا خیلی برام جالب بود. البته یه چیزم ناگفته نمونه، اون زمانی که تیم ملی بودیم با بچه‌ها همه روز صفا و صمیمیت و بچه‌های واقعا بامرام بودن. حالا البته الان من همینجوری که برای جست و گریخته خبر دادم، خب اون حالت دیگه بین بچه‌ها وجود نداره متاسفانه، ولی اون زمان خیلی خوب بود. همه بامرام و خوب بودن، خوش اخلاق بودن، صمیمی بودن، گذشت داشتن. ولی الان نیست متاسف، چون مسئله پول مطرح شده. اون موقع ما به خاطر پول بازی نمی‌کردیم.
Once again, a special thank you to Gholam Vafakhah for taking the time to appear on Team Melli Talk. And of course, a huge thank you to Farzad Asgarzadeh of the Iranian football page for making the interview possible. Gholam Vafakhah also shared that there are many former Team Melli footballers who are really struggling today. And unfortunately, they do not get the support that they need. But Mr. Vafakhah shared that he contributes personally to help these former footballers, and that is why I would like to take this time to recognize Mr. Vafakhah as not only a great footballer, but as a great humanitarian. We will get to our analysis of Amir Ghalenoei's 28-man roster, but first, make sure to check out our store on Shopify. We've got green Team Melli jerseys, green Team Melli shirts, Team Melli scarves, new Team Melli mugs for your morning coffee or chai, and we also have some new merchandise. Now let's take a look at the footballers called up by Amir Ghalenoei. Starting with the goalkeepers, Behramvand, Hosseini, Niazmand, and Mohammad Reza Akhbari. No surprise with Amir Ghalenoei's three favorite goalkeepers, but we do see the return of Mohammad Reza Akhbari. Akhbari is currently playing for Gol Gohar. He has only allowed 2 goals this season and has 6 clean sheets. Some people might be questioning why Akhbari has been called up, but it is important to point out that Amir Ghalenoei was the head coach of Traktor Sazi from 2015 to 2017, and it was during that time that Akhbari was a starting goalkeeper for Traktor. The center backs, Khalilzadeh, Kanani, Hazbavi, Nemati, and Mehdi Zareh. Hossein Kanani returns to Team Melli after missing last month's qualifiers due to injury. And at the moment, I believe it's pretty clear that Ghalenoei's 3 favorite center backs are Khalilzadeh, Kanani, and Nemati. Now, this isn't good news for Amin Hazbavi, but let's see what happens. Now for the wingbacks, Mohammadi, Nurav Khan, Hardani, and Yousefi. The only change from last month is Omi Nurav Khan replacing Abulfaz Jalali. And to be honest, as we remember, Omi Nurav Khan did a good job playing at left back against Uzbekistan and against Qatar. Not only is Nurav Khan a favorite of Amir Ghalenoei, but he is definitely a utility player that Amir Ghalenoei really likes because he can play as a defensive midfielder or as a left back. Now for the midfielders, Godus, Ezatullahi, Gorbani, Ruzbet Cheshmi, Mohammad Karimi, and Javad Hossein Nejad. The return of Ruzbet Cheshmi. He has made 5 appearances for Esteghlal this season. Now I'll be honest, I think this is a surprise call-up, but Amir Ghalenoei does like to surprise his critics. As for the wingers/attackers, Jahanbash, Golizadeh, Mohebi, and Gaidi. Ali Reza Jahanbash recently signed with Heerenveen in the top level of football in the Netherlands. It took a long time, but Ali Reza Jahanbash is no longer a free agent. Finally, the forwards, Taremi, Azmoun, Moganlu, Hosseinzadeh, and Saeed Sahar Khizan. I know I've been negative on a few occasions, but I am thrilled to see Saeed Sahar Khizan getting called up. He's been having a very good season in the Russian Premier League with Orenburg with 6 goals and 1 assist. Now what about you? What is your opinion of Amir Ghalenoei's roster? Leave a comment down below. Always look forward to getting your input. Iran and North Korea have a history with each other. And the history is that Iran has never lost to North Korea. The last meeting between Iran and North Korea was at the 2011 Asian Cup in Qatar. Iran scored a 1-0 victory on that day. The only goal of the match was scored by Karim Ansari Fard. North Korea's previous match was a 1-1 draw against the UAE. Next, the players to watch. Now to be honest, This is a tough one for me because not a lot is known about the North Korean national team. But if I have to pick 3 players, here they are. Jang Kook-chol, Ri Il-sung, and Jong Il-gwan. Center back Jang Kook-chol is the captain of North Korea and has been capped over 70 times. Forward Ri Il-sung is 20 years old and is a rising star for North Korea. He scored a banger goal against Qatar earlier this round, so he is definitely dangerous from long range. And striker Jong Il-gwan is North Korea's all-time leading scorer with 31 goals. Jong Il-gwan also had 2 short stints in Switzerland with Luzern and FC Ville. The head coach of North Korea is former midfielder Sin Young-nam. Sin Young-nam previously coached North Korea at the U23 level. And don't forget, the match between Iran and North Korea will be played on November 14th in Laos. Now to finish off this edition of Team Melli Talk, I want to talk keys to victory. Number 1, watch the long ball. Number 2, close down space in midfield. North Korea has obviously made improvements in recent years because nobody expected North Korea to get to this current round of World Cup qualifying. But when it comes to tactics and strategy, not a lot has changed with North Korea because the North Koreans continue to play the low block and they try to score goals on the counterattack. When we look at Group A, we see that North Korea is at the bottom of the table. But North Korea has missed 2 penalties in this round, one against Uzbekistan and another against the UAE. North Korea does not score a lot of goals, but they have shown that they can be very dangerous from long range, and this is why Iran really must close down space and force the North Koreans to beat them in those 1v1 battles. As long as Iran is patient and doesn't overcommit in attack, I expect Iran to come away with a hard-earned 1-0 victory.